Hello, thank you for joining us today on this quick tutorial on how to install your JB4 communication cable. Along with your JB4 tuner, you would receive this OBD2 connector here, which will be connected to your vehicle via OBD2 cable and also to your JB4 tuner via this connection here. We're going to set this aside, but now we're going to go ahead and focus on installing your communication data cable or your JB4 Bluetooth wireless connection. Let's go ahead and get started. All right, let's go ahead and turn this JB4 tuner over to its backside, which is how we're going to access the screws, which we'll temporarily remove. So for this installation, you'll see that I have a 2.5 Allen key tip. Sorry about that. Let's go ahead and zoom in. There it is. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in. And I'm gonna have to start removing these screws here, 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 and on the other side. So that's my first task. Let's go ahead and do that. Not to bore you, I'm just gonna go ahead and remove all the screws and come back to you, okay? All right, I went ahead and loosened up all the screws here and here, and we're now ready to remove the cover. So for the sake of not removing these screws and putting them somewhere else, I'm going to go ahead and leave it on its cover. This is a billet cover, and as you can see, one of them is still a little tight. So I'm going to go ahead and loosen that up a little bit. At this point, I can go ahead and move those open by hand. All right, there you go, nice and easy. I'm going to go ahead and set that aside. So that way when I'm ready to put this back together to cover the control board, I could just put it right back on top and then screw those things nice and tight. So the next step is to take the control board out. And the place where you're going to be connecting your data cable, whether it's a BMS data cable or the JB4 Bluetooth version, will be here. In order to do that, we do want to pop this up out of here so we can access the connection, as we will need to install them right here. So go ahead and let's go ahead and grab our JB4 connector, which is here, and I'll show you how that goes. I'm going to put you on pause and grab the data. Continuing on, we're going to go ahead and now install the JB4 Bluetooth connection to the control board here. Along with your JB4 Bluetooth purchase, you will receive these Phillips head screws, which will tighten up the connections here and here once you have mated those two. Let's go ahead and connect the JB4 Bluetooth connector. One thing to mention is before you connect, make sure that you check your pins and make sure they're nice and straight, as you don't want those to go in the wrong way on the control board. And let's go ahead and do that next. Right, should go in nice and smooth like that. The next thing you want to do is grab your Phillips head screwdriver tip and your screws. So let's go ahead and do that very carefully. Let's go ahead and do one at a time. As you can see, it has to go there. It has a little hole for that, and let's go ahead and tighten that up just a little bit. You don't want to over tighten it when you first get it in there. Just get it in there so it catches, and then we'll go ahead and do the other side. Okay, I can feel that's getting in there. Drop it, that's okay. Yes. In. Let's go ahead and tighten this screw up a bit. Okay. One thing I'll mention, and this is very reminiscent of connecting a VGA cable to, let's say, your old computer, right? That one feels nice and tight. Okay, there we are. You don't want to over torque these things, as you may damage the connectors, but I feel that's nice and tight. Now I want to go ahead and continue and placing this back into the billet box here. So I want to make sure this grommet is nice and tucked where it was before, nice in the center there. I want to make sure that on this side everything sits nice and tight, and you'll notice that there's a little groove for this to go over here. I did remove this little plastic piece that goes here. It came along with this, so let's go ahead and remove that there 100%. So you'll notice there's a place for the connector to flow through. So remember I said that I was going to leave those screws on there, so then I can easily place it back on the box itself. Okay, let's go ahead and fit that. It should fit nice and smooth without you having to struggle at all. So now that I have that in place, I'm feeling around, make sure that my rubber seal and my grommet is in place. I'm checking it out visually. I'm looking good over here. I'm looking good over here where the JB4 wireless Bluetooth connector is at. Now I'm going to go ahead and change my tip to the 2.5 Allen bit and tighten these up. I like to do a crisscross pattern on all my tightening of screws, so I'm going to go ahead and gently put this one in place. It's going down nice and easy. And these are some of the things you have to do before you can actually install in your vehicle. So there we are. We're nice and tight all the way around. And again, you don't want to over tighten these, but you definitely want a nice tight seal. I recommend you doing this by hand. I don't recommend you using any drills or that type of tool that will do automatically for you, so you're in control. There you are. So now you have your JB4 Bluetooth connector, and now you simply will go over to your vehicle and install this over to the car. Let's go ahead and turn it over and get a look at this. Nicely installed. Okay, as you can see, it's nice and tight, and this grommet along on that side looks really good too. You guys, congratulations to you and to me as I purchased one of these for my vehicle too. I have an Infiniti Q60 myself, and the next step is to go ahead and install it on the Q60, and I will have a video for that as well. Congratulations again, and thank you for considering us on your next JB4 tuner purchase. Thanks.